here so that we and our neutrality. Get online, evening meal, Peace FM, Regional TV, Channel 1 TV, Stone Media, Titodap Media, GH Brain, Ghana Trends, Gold Coast TV, Press TV, Atlanta TV, Bullet TV, Atinka TV, FM and radio online, Sopak FM, Clear TV, Atom TV, Asempa FM, Digital TV. Am I seeing they do? That's what I'm trying. Pink FM, Real Diamond, Daily Gist, Daily Searchlight, Channel 274 TV, Gossip 24 TV, Tech FM, Yonkupak FM, UTV Metro TV, Ghanaian Observer, Daily Watch TV, Hydra TV, Top TV, Next 2 TV, GH1, Mad FM, Star FM, Joy FM, Joy News, City FM, The New Crusading Guide, Kingdom FM, The 1957 News, The Custodian, TV Africa, NPP News. Please, back to India. That is so true. Metro is represented. I mentioned Metro. But Metro is represented by Kosaki and Derek Adotti.
and if I obey because and then the height here. Yeah, try 2. And then the height here first.
Hello, 1, 2. Hello, try 2. Hello, hello, try 2. Hello, try 2. Hello, try 2. Hello, 1, 2. 2. Hello, 1, 2. Hello, try 2. Sound 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2. Hello, sound 1, 2.
Yeah. Yeah, 2. Testing mic, try 1, 2. Okay, media. More recording devices, those of you with recording devices that want to put it up here, this is the time to do that. Once the press conference starts, you may not be allowed to climb up stage. So let's do that now, please. Thank you. 2, yeah. Try 1, 2. Yeah. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th seat to the 8th seat in front. Those 2 rows will be reserved for the dignitaries who are coming. Yes, to my left. So you please kindly move back for me. Just the first 3 rows, so you can from the 4th seat. Thank you. The Liberal Party of Ghana, National Democratic Party, and the People's National Party. The representatives are here kindly. Your seats.
And everybody standing.
And we also crave your indulgence. If you are here to witness this program, kindly take
your seat.
Your seat. We are pleading with all the people here. That's Ramo Enidium.
Ubuni Enidium.
Ahobrasem Kam.
Yes, Ramo. So you may be in Waha, Ubuni Enidium. The best I say any now ever free. Days and China. Na Yaba and Nimuha, yes, Ramo. The best you may be say Sisia.
The weather is not too friendly.
In a few minutes, the leader of the mighty minority will be joining us. Then from there, the program begins. Please. Yes, Ramo. Jumedia Intina Owaha. Security. Yes, Ramo Mumwaye. Na yeni anu me jina hani ni na embetenase. Yes, Ramo Boni ani diem. Acha yesime duntem na ya hye Jumedia na se. Nsuo na ni nyefe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. DJ.
foundations, Mr. Anyamba, as well as all the representatives of the parties who have come together to ensure that we protect and save the judiciary from anybody, any human being born of a man who want to take the judiciary for granted and destroy the very foundation of our democracy in Ghana. I can see the second deputy chief whip of the mighty minority arriving. MP for Wejabawi, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shai, has just arrived. I can see Honorable Ejapa Maisa also here. A lot of dignitaries arriving to address this important gathering. The mighty minority second deputy whip is here. Jerry Ahmed Shai, Honorable MP for Wejak Bawi. Awuni. This selfless young man, MP for Wejakbawi, down to earth, very brave and dynamic. I can see seizing legal brains here. Lawyer Frank Davis is here. This press briefing is going to be one of its kind. As the national organizer takes his steps to approach the days, Yema Obia Ojina Enimhebia Embetnasi. Mandela, please ensure they all take their seat. I can see the dynamic national organizer, a legal brain as well, lawyer Henry Nana Boache Nana B.
Party for the first time I LPG for.
the legal team of the new patriotic party. Ahmed in his see the able national organizer of the new patriotic party, lawyer Mary Nanakwate, taking his seat. All the political parties are here to ensure they speak true to power and to protect the very democracy that we all have subscribed to since 1992. We cannot allow and sit unconcerned to see any particular person breaking the rules in this country. You can see from the faces of the dignitaries that they are not happy. And they cannot be happy until the constitution and democracy in this country is protected. And as for all of us here gathered, we cannot be happy if we can't pretend to be happy. When we have all queued to vote to elect a president peacefully, sworn into office peacefully, occupy the Jubilee House peacefully, join all the privileges of the President of the Republic of Ghana, and decide to connive with some unforeseen hands to destroy the very foundation that he wants to build on. It cannot happen in this country. This is a moment that if you are Ghanaian, you must be concerned. And if you are Ghanaian, you must be worried. If you are Ghanaian, you must liaise with these political parties who want to fight and protect the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
Kasana ye so mua na ye say no etete no pansam na enkaye ntoaba etoaba sumduem so a president ewo Independence Square asumduem odi asumdue ne kofie ko sha say as president of the republic, all because of the protection that 1992 constitution, you know, the amano. It is a minu mienu yen chomsam na yen shaha na yen shasa onon kwa di ni tumi ne pe ebe say constitution ne dia na chese Ghana ebe fa ni to mapa Ifra. So very soon we'll begin the program. microphone to the moderator of this important press briefing. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for this press engagement. I want to wish you a very happy Workers' Day today. We've called you primarily to engage you ahead of the planned demonstration by the political parties on Monday, May 5th, 2025. The idea for this press conference is clear. The country is not in agreement with the president in his decision to remove the Chief Justice, thereby undermining the independence of the judiciary, in the process undermining and destroying our democracy, threatening the survival of this Fourth Republic. We have a series of engagements. All the political parties would come up here and give you their statements, why they are aligned with us to undertake this all-important demonstration, a signal to the President of the Republic that the political parties, the Ghanaian people, will not stand for him to destroy our democracy. And we believe that when you get this message today, because it bothers on our democracy, you, the media, will take particular interest, because without democracy, there will be no media. The media will completely be silenced. The media will completely be out of play. Your existence depends on the survival of this democracy. And we think that you must take this personally and drive the agenda to stop the president from this incursion, the attempt to demolish our democracy. The diminution of our democracy shall not be tolerated, and you must lead in this conversation. Before we go into it, as I indicated, there will be all the four political parties who come here and give their statements. We will appreciate your cooperation in that regard. Mostly because of time, they will not be able to do the three versions, so one after their statement, I would come to just try and do the best to be able to summarize it for the three stations to be able to get their bites out of their presentation. But before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Mr. Frank Davis, the chair of our party's Constitutional Legal Committee, who will be chairing this press engagement this afternoon, to give a brief opening remarks before we get into the statements.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press, both print and electronic. I must first of all apologize on behalf of national leadership for the late start of this media encounter. The advertised time was 13 hours prompt. So we sincerely apologize. The circumstances were such that we couldn't start as and when we should have. So we apologize profusely. The national organizer of the party, Nana Boache, the deputy second chief whip of parliament, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, MP, Weja. Our own, still speaking, still strong, still energetic. I call him Bobo, former MP for Sekunde. Our illustrious Regional Secretary for Greater Accra, Odailai Paka France, the Regional Organizer for Greater Accra, Prince Obain, and of course, other national officers and regional officers gathered here. I believe that I need not go too much into the reason why we are here. Suffice it to say that there has been a systemic and determined attempt to assault the independence and integrity of the judiciary, the last bastion of our democracy. And Ghanaians would have to speak. There is nothing political about this. Nothing. Those who are going around full of insults, gratuitous calumny, vituperative aspersions, abusive language, leave them. That is not the work of educated people. We have to analyze and think about what is going on. It needs deep thinking and not insults. We have to agree and agree to disagree. That is human nature. But it is the depth of your intellectual capacity which should reign supreme, not the cacophony of loud noises and insensible talk. We have to rise to the occasion as Ghanaians. It is not for nothing that the Trade Union Conference at the Labor Day this morning, in the presence of His Excellency the President, John Mahama, made a clarion call on him to look at the decision to suspend the Chief Justice. And I quote their language. They are deeply concerned. It is not me, it is them. And this was said right in his presence. So don't let anybody think that this is a political matter and that it is a two-horse race between the NPP and the NDC. So political actors will go and sit on radio and say whatever they like. It has to do with our judiciary. If this is how our judiciary is going to be played around with, like ping pong, I want to tell Ghanaians that there was a yesterday, there sure is a today, certainly there will be tomorrow. So let us always be guided by the incidents of history. I also have read on the GNA news portal that the former Chief Justice, a ladyship Sophia Akufu, who is an esteemed member of the Council of State, has also said that the processes unraveling the suspension and removal of a Chief Justice is unfair. And she has appealed to the 8-member Constitutional Review Committee set up by our President, John Mahama, to have a look at Article 146 and to amend that article in the Constitution so that the processes will be stringent. She has also advocated that even when or if any Chief Justice should suffer a removal from office upon stated grounds, there should be a right of appeal. The final arbiter should not be the committee. If GNA peddled a blatant falsehood, then I am repeating an innocent one. But that is what GNA has put on the news portal. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crossroads. There is a siege on the judiciary, the third arm of government. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. They are supposed to have separate and distinct powers. Separation of powers, as we call it. Do we have to let the judiciary be hanged? No. Thank you very much. I'll call on my fellow colleagues to come and talk, and after we shall have a little dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Frank Davis. Give us a quick moment. We need to just shift our podium. Prince, can you give me a hand?
Yes. Make it good. Make it good.
I understand UTV, you're having challenges with your mic. Is it okay now? UTV, is it okay? Okay, good. Yes. Thank you very much, Chairman Frank Davis, again, for that remarks that you've made. We're going to move on earnestly with a call on our first political party to come and give their statement. I will call on the National Democratic Party, the flag bearer Alhaji Frimpong, to come and give the NDP's statement.
Good afternoon, members of the press, and welcome to this critical press engagement on the future of our democracy. Since taking office, the NDC government has been acting in a manner reflective of its political campaign declarations, suggesting a command regime not akin to the 1992 Constitution. The NDC is deluding itself into equating its supposed super-parliamentary majority to a mandate to govern beyond the scope of Ghana's 1992 Constitution. On their campaign trail, His Excellency President Mahama openly declared to appoint NDC judges in the judiciary and other constitutionally mandated institutions even before he won the 2024 elections. Unfortunately, the President and NDC interpret his landslide victory as a license to trample on the 1992 Constitution. Contrary to the President's understanding, the people's super mandate should reinforce a commitment and belief in constitutional principles, in safeguarding state institutions against all forms of discrimination, and ensuring livelihoods. The President's action to suspend the Chief Justice is thus fulfilling his premeditated political malice, which must not be countenanced by all well-meaning Ghanaians. The present despicable political act is a prelude to many more unspeakable malices in violations of the democratic principles espoused in our Constitution. Therefore, the NDP calls on His Excellency, President John Mahama, to revoke the suspension of the Chief Justice with immediate effect. Given the imminent danger to our democracy from the NDC and President John Dramani Mahama, the National Democratic Party calls on all members to participate. To participate in the Save the Judiciary demonstration on Monday, May 5th, 2025. Demonstrators should gather at the park opposite the Supreme Court, starting at 5 a.m. to send the loudest possible signal to the President and the NDC that we, the people, will not stand idly by while they invalidate the judiciary. Join us to demonstrate peacefully, yet with zeal and strength, to save our judiciary and this fourth Republican democracy from the destructive hands of the NDC. Long live NDP, long live the Fourth Republic, long live Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Party, for that message, Alhaji Frimpong Mohammed, for that very important and clear message. I'm saying, Alhaji Kayeno, the Tintin Muan United said, NDP, NTSCSA, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, NDC for. Ede yeni yebetu eniesi judiciary so na omakoye se de omoyi Chief Justice no se de nyina ye ka no montia se so mbesa na omo call no on the president and they say and then the chile ye ano on recently and as on sesa decision na wa ye say wa suspend Chief Justice no na Ghana yenko enim na dia o ye no ya dia emboa democracy Mbwa ma Ghana nkoso ntino omontia se ne say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne NDC for no omunjai say omotu enesi judiciary no so with the view say on be undermining the judiciary. Before I call the next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the minority leader of the New Patriotic Party, the mighty minority leader, Osahini Alexander Apenyo Markins, who will join us. We are very happy for his presence here. His leadership has given us a very strong presence in Parliament, and Ghanaians are appreciating what efforts they are doing to defend the larger interests of our democracy and our economy and our country at large. We appreciate them for that hard work they are doing. If you can give them a round of applause, I appreciate it. I'll be doing the introductions as we go, but now let me call on the PNP, Madame Janet Nabila, to come and give the PNP's message. The media, as I was saying earlier, this is an important engagement, and the message here, we expect that you carry it forward. Put your own understandings to it, put your own existence bet your own existence on what we're doing, because the absence of a strong judiciary exposes our rights to a strong president who would end up accumulating power at the executive and will abuse all of us, all of our rights, and undermine the power of judicial review. So please, this is not an NPP and other political parties matter. This is Ghana matter, and we expect that you participate strongly. Thank you very much, Madam Janet Abla.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm happy that the Communication Secretary of the NPP is emphasizing that this is not a demonstration for the NPP or political parties. It is a demonstration for Ghana. Members of the press, fellow Ghanaians, women and youth, and patriotic citizens across the length and breadth of this country. The People's National Party wishes to inform the public of our full participation in the 5th demonstration, a national call to duty, not just for political parties, but for every Ghanaian who believes in justice, democracy, and the rule of law. This is not a partisan demonstration. It is a people's demonstration, and the PNP cannot sit on the fence while President Mahama and the NDC attempt to hijack and destroy the institution of hope left for Ghana, the judiciary. President Mahama has already taken control of the executive and parliament. Now he is determined to seize the judiciary, as he promised a group of NDC lawyers during his campaign. He is appointing Supreme Court judges not to serve justice, but to carry out his party's agenda. Already, he has appointed 7 Supreme Court judges without a national demand or constitutional justification, only to balance out appointments made by former President Nana Addo. This is not balance, it is blatant politicization of justice. Worse still, President Mahama has acted with reckless disregard for due process. When a petition was filed against the Chief Justice, he refused to follow the legal process and bypass natural justice by rushing the matter to the Council of State. When a court injunction was filed, he disrespected the authority of the court and went ahead to suspend the Chief Justice. This is a president who believes he is above the law. To make matters even more disturbing, this same president has shown utter disregard for women in governance. Despite Parliament passing the Affirmative Action Bill to ensure 30% representation of women, President Mahama has refused to implement it. Instead, he has given a mere 10% of cabinet positions, 16% of ministerial roles, and 14% of deputy ministerial appointments to women. And now even the few women in leadership roles are being illegally removed by his government through unconstitutional and predetermined actions. The People's National Party says enough is enough. We are calling on Ghanaians, we are calling on all Ghanaians, especially women of Ghana, to rise and be heard. We call on women across political divides, including, we call on all Ghanaians, especially women of Ghana, to rise and be heard. We call on women across political divides, especially courageous women within the NDC, to stand up against this tyranny and injustice. The 5th demonstration is not for one party. It is for every Ghanaian who still believes in the rule of law, inequality, and a future that belongs to all, not just for the privileged few. President Mahama must know Ghana is not his private property. The judiciary does not belong to the NDC, and the women of Ghana will not be silenced anymore. Join us, rise with us. Let our voices tender through the streets of Maize Pit. Let Mahama hear our loud and clear, hear us loud and clear that Ghana belongs to the people, not to a political party.
It's okay. It's okay, fantastic. Sit down.
Thank you very much, Madam Janet Nabila. Thank you very much, Madam Janet Nabila of the PNP. Next, we'll move to the Liberal Party of Ghana. We have Mr. Jerry Apau to represent the party. So Jerry Apau is the General Secretary of the Liberal Party of Ghana.
Thank you. Good afternoon. LPG firmly reject the ongoing attempt by the NDC administration to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. We believe this move is unjustified, politically motivated, and harmful to the independence of our judiciary. There is no credible evidence of wrongdoing to warrant her removal, and the process appeared to be a calculated and a political retribution, an agenda signaled during the 2024 campaign by the former president then himself. Of particular concern is the appointment of Justice Gabriel Scott Pomai as chair of the investigative committee. His prior involvement in the related case of Daniel Ofori versus the EcoBank compromises his neutrality and casts a shadow over the credibility of this process. We acknowledge the other members of the committee, but insist that the chair must be beyond reproach. There are many qualified justices who can lead this probe impartially. We therefore call on the President, John Dramani Mahama, to immediately replace Justice Scott Pomai. This is not politics. It is about safeguarding Ghana's beautiful democracy and upholding the rule of law. Let us defend our judiciary and interference. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Liberal Party of Ghana, for that strong message. We now move to the almighty New Patriotic Party, whose speech will be delivered by its national organizer, Henry Nana Boache.
Thank you very much, Richard. I will stand on the existing protocols. Over the past few weeks, President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government have intensified their relentless crusade against the independence of Ghana's judiciary. An assault that has now culminated into a dangerous and unconstitutional move. The suspension and planned removal of Chief Justice of the Republic, Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Iraba Isaba Saki Tokuno, by none other than Mr. Mahama himself. The NPP profoundly disapproves and vehemently condemns this blatant disregard for constitutional order, judicial sanctity, and democratic norms. This action taken under the pretext of Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution constitutes a grave threat to judicial independence, a reckless abuse of executive discretion, and an affront to the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we consider this suspension not only unconstitutional, but procedurally flawed, but also politically motivated and executed with alarming disregard for the sanctity of due process. Additionally, Article 146 clearly stipulates that the President has no direct authority to suspend or remove the sitting justice of the Superior Court, including the Chief Justice, without recourse to an independent investigative mechanism. In such matters, the President is merely a transmitting agent, not a judge, prosecutor, a decision maker. Therefore, his suspension of the Chief of Staff is ultra-virus, unconstitutional, and must be rescinded without any delay. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the NPP also wishes to highlight a glaring ethical impropriety. This is very important, and my colleague mentioned it, and I'm going to re-emphasize it as well. In the composition of the 5-member committee tasked with the mandate to investigate the Chief Justice, the appointment of Justice Puaman as a chair is inappropriate. Justice Puaman, having authored a Supreme Court ruling directly connecting to the petition against the Chief Justice, cannot be deemed to be an impartial adjudicator on this matter. His involvement erodes public interest and represents a conflict of interest. The refusal to recuse himself, despite the availability of other qualified justices of the Supreme Court, suggests a deliberate manipulation of the process to secure a determination that is already preconceived. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the NPP wishes to express concern over a deeply troubling and undemocratic posture adopted by the President towards Ghana's judiciary, which reflects a dangerous mindset and a diabolical agenda to manipulate the courts for political expediency. Addressing the closing ceremony of the 3rd Annual Lawyers' Conference of the NDC,
in Akosombo, the former president, the then former president, who was then the NDC flag bearer, made troubling statement that revealed his intentions to pack the court with politically aligned judges should he return to power. In his own words, he said, currently the judiciary is filled with judges who are favorable to the NPP because this government has deliberately appointed supporters to the bench. These statements confirm a thoughtful and a deliberate plan by Mr. Mahama and the NDC to transform Ghana's independent judiciary into a partisan tool favoring their political fortunes. This betrayal of the democratic principles of separation of powers and an insult to the professionalism and competence of our judges who have sworn oath to uphold justice without fear or favor. With current happenings, Ghanaians must take these pronouncements seriously. At the time, a former president and presidential candidate, Mr. Mahama, openly advocated for political infiltration of the judiciary, which poses a grave threat to our constitutional democracy. Mr. Mahama's comments do not promote judicial reform or independence. They reveal a calculated intent to corrupt the judicial process for political gains. The peace, stability, and rule of law we enjoy as a nation must not be sacrificed on the altar of political manipulation. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we echo the legitimate concerns raised by the Ghana Bar Association and other political parties gathered here, such as the LPG, the NDP, and the PMP. The GBA bold resolution at its mid-year conference condemning the suspension and threatening legal action reinforces the seriousness of this constitutional crisis. Their stance affirm what many already know. The president's action is neither rooted in law nor the spirit of democratic principles. We caution that today, if Chief Justice Tokuno, tomorrow it could be any judge who dares to exercise independent judgment. This orchestrated assault on the judiciary threatens to dismantle the very institutional safeguards that preserve our democracy. Ghana cannot and must not descend into the state where political expediency overrides constitutional order. The NPP therefore demands the following: the immediate and unconditional reversal of Chief Justice Tokunu's suspension, full compliance with Article 146 and 296 in all future disciplinary proceedings involving justices of the Supreme Court. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the New Patriotic Party stands firm and unwavering in defense of Ghana's judiciary and the constitutional principles that uphold our democracy. The suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Eraba Esaba Saki Tokuno is not an isolated misstep. It is the most apparent manifestation yet of President Mahama and the NDC government grants designed to politicize, infiltrate, and ultimately capture judiciary for partisan control. This must not and will not stand. The 1992 Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is not subject to the whims of any president, past, present, or future. Justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. We are witnessing the unfolding of a dangerous script authored by President John Dramani Mahama, showing no regard for judicial independence, due process, or constitutional constraint. Mr. Mahama's words have betrayed his diabolical intent, and recent actions only confirms what we have long feared. a calculated effort to dismantle the separation of powers and turn our courts into political tool. But Ghana's democracy is stronger than anyone's ambition. The Chief Justice is the final bulwark between liberty and tyranny, and her unlawful removal signals a red line that must not be crossed. Ladies and gentlemen, we must therefore reiterate our call for the immediate reinstatement of the Chief Justice and the withdrawal of his unconstitutional action. The future of our republic, the confidence of our people in the judiciary, and the very soul of our democracy depends on this. Let it be known that the New Patriotic Party will fiercely and relentlessly resist any attempt to hijack our judicial system for any political gain. We urge Ghanaians across all divide to speak out and defend our constitution. We urge everyone to be part of this historic demonstration on Monday, 5th May. We will gather just opposite the Supreme Court. We will present the first petition at the Supreme Court. We will proceed to Parliament House, where we will present the second petition. And then we will proceed to the Jubilee House to present the final petition. We must all be part of this effort. There is this sinister motive by Mr. Mahama to pack the judiciary to seek a judicial interpretation of the Constitution which will interpret Article 62 so that he intends to go a third term. This agenda, inshallah, shall fail. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, for that very strong and clear message to the executive that we will not accept their deliberate and premeditated attempt to undermine the judiciary of our country. The last hope, the defense of our rights, the protector of the minority. If they are undermined, if they are affected in a manner the NDC is calculating to do, your rights, my rights, will have vanished under this democracy. And we will resist that. And that's the invitation for you to all to join us on 5th May at the park opposite the Supreme Court for a demonstration that would signal to the executive that our democracy matters more than anyone's politics. It matters more than any individual's political ambition. We are determined to let the government understand that the very democracy that brought them to office, they must ensure they protect it and keep it safe for our posterity. Thank you very much, Erin Anabuachi, for that strong message. It is time now to invite the minority leader of the New Patriotic Party caucus in Parliament, the Osahele Alexander Apello Martins.
The mighty minority.
Come to hold the microphone for you.
Oh, it's okay.
You're sure.
The mighty minority. Asahim on the microphone.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We are here as a mighty minority to also have a bite on these disturbing issues that confront our nation. Before I address the issue of the Chief Justice, let me take you through some disturbing matters that we have witnessed since the NDC assumed the reins of government on the 7th of January 2025. The first thing we heard was the mass dismissal of the youths who have been employed in state-owned enterprises and in the public sector. People who have been employed for over 7 years, 6 years, were suddenly asked to go home. Some go into their offices and they are sacked. Nurses who were recruited last year have been made to go home. Teachers who were recruited and posted have been sacked. That is the state of the NDC government for you. Instead of creating employment opportunities, they are rather creating more unemployment. Now, even with some of these institutions, they now replace some institutional heads with their party faithfuls as part of their resetting agenda. Now, let's come to the issue of Galamsey. Somewhere 2014, the then Minister of Finance, Honorable Setekpe, appeared before Parliament and lamented on the state of the cocoa production in our country. Among the key issues he addressed Parliament on through its Finance Committee was issue of Galamsey. Of course, NPP came into office and made attempt to address this issue. I must admit we were not successful. The NDC used it as a campaign tool. Today, what do we see? According to organized labor, this is not from NPP. According to organized labor, the Galamsey situation has worsened. And they have now even institutionalized Galamsey by enacting what they call a gold board. What is the essence of gold board? They claim that the gold board is now going to buy equipment for small-scale miners. But you and I know that their intent is not to support any small-scale miner. Their intent is to support Galamseyers. That's exactly what they are doing. And they are saying they're monopolizing the purchase of gold and to regulate it and all. What are they trying to do? Let's go to our military. Our military, Ghana Armed Forces, they've been kept out of politics. From President Kufuor's time, all the way to Nanado, whom they have so much criticized. Those heads in our military, the generals, were allowed to stay in office when NPP assumed office. Some served for over a year until they themselves retired. But what are we seeing today? There's a complete wipeout at the highest level of the military. They first decided to clear those senior officers, the generals. The CDS, the army commander, and other service chiefs were cleared. Then they added some 15 more. And upon assumption of office, the new CDS now is forcing 2-star generals to all retire.
Yes.
Wow.
So again, what they are doing is to make our military, our Ghana Armed Forces, also partisan. When they were in opposition, they complained about taxes that the Ghanaian businessman is suffering. What we see today, apart from the e-levy, all taxes, including levies that we pay at our ports, remain same. They have not changed anything. I'm hereby exposing to you the hypocrisy of the NDC. VAT has not changed. In fact, for the mining companies, they have even increased the taxes, and they say because they are making profit, they have to increase it over and above what they came to meet. Now, ask yourself again about our utility. Electricity tariffs. Now we are paying more. We are paying more than they came to meet. And even so, Doomsaw is back. Their other card they are playing is the persecution of NPP appointees. So to create the impression that they are all righteous, to create the impression that the situation was bad and there was corruption, they've targeted former appointees. I want to assure them that we will never surrender. They can never use this to cow us into self-preservation to crush the NPP spirit. To enable them achieve this, they now want to control our courts. So what are we seeing? The attempt to sack the Chief Justice. I, on behalf of the Minority Caucus, hereby say that what we're witnessing today under John Mahama-led government is a systematic and calculated assault on the independence of the judiciary. An institution that we all know is the last line of defense for the rule of law, the protection of rights, and the survival of our democratic republic. Today, what we see is intimidation, political interference, and open targeting of judges who are perceived as inconvenient and non-compliant. It is not just unacceptable, it is repugnant to good conscience. The current attacks on the Chief Justice and the broader attempt to politicize the bench must be seen for what they are. And here, our Council of State failed our democracy.
Totally.
They rehearsed the suspension of the Chief Justice. They got a fake research done, threw it into the air. The majority of Ghanaians want the Chief Justice sacked. Before even the Council of State received the so-called petitions, the NDC papers were all over in town saying that the Chief Justice was going to be suspended. Clearly, they had rehearsed the agenda. And if you look at the petitions, for all that I've read, I find it very unfortunate. In this country, we know that when the president, the first lady, travel, the cost is borne by the state. Same with the Speaker of Parliament. He and his immediate family going on official trip. Why will the official travel of the Chief Justice, which is backed by a judiciary policy, now become a subject matter of a kangaroo investigation? And they claim that she caused financial loss to the state, etc., etc. But I have something to tell our respected judges. Some of them, I am aware, we are aware, that are being promised by the NDC government. Today, it is Tokonu, tomorrow, it may be them. They should listen and listen well. I want all judges in the country to know that their institution is under attack. The NDC government is approaching you, the judges, telling you that, oh, Tokonu does not have a good interpersonal relationship. She is snobbish, she is this, she is that. But I want you to know that if they allow them to use you today, tomorrow they will come after you.
Yep.
Act collective.
Yes.
It is your institution which is under attack. Our demonstration on Monday is not about our party or parties. It's about protecting the institutional integrity of our republic. It's about drawing a line in defense of the Constitution. And it's about telling those in power, you may have your turn, but you do not own the state.
Thank you.
The framers of our Constitution understood that democracy without an independent judiciary is no democracy at all. That is why we are gathering on Monday, 5th of May, to say enough is enough. To say that the people of Ghana will not sit idly by while their courts are captured. To say that the power may change hands, but the Constitution must always stand. And to the people of Ghana, our fellow countrymen and women, we invite you to join us. This is not just about the few political parties determining to go on the streets. Of course, we are going on a peaceful demonstration. This is not Parliament's fight. It is a fight for every citizen who wants to live in a country where the law is supreme and no man, no matter how powerful, is above the law. We say that there must be an end to the division and the anger of the past. This government must tread with the greatest caution, always keeping tomorrow in mind when taking decisions today, because these decisions may shape future governance. If we continue down this path, we risk creating a culture of retaliatory politics, where successive governments are more focused on settling political scores than solving problems. Last but not the least, it is obvious that the bold attempt by Mr. President to nominate out of the blue 7 judges to the Supreme Court is the first major attempt at all that they have rehearsed, a 3rd term agenda. All that the NDC is doing, all that our president is doing through the advice of the hawks of NDC is to set a 3rd term agenda for his leadership. They think that by packing the judiciary, there will be a smooth road for that 3rd term agenda. Were we not in this country where even 2 Supreme Court nominees, after going through vetting and were supposed to take their approval at the plenary, the same NDC said by adding 2 more judges to the Supreme Court bench, Nana Addo was packing the courts? Was it not the same NDC where that criticized the proposal to even nominate for appointment 5 more judges to the Supreme Court, and as a result, no further step was taken by the Judicial Council? What has changed? We leave it to the good conscience of they themselves. But I want to tell them that we will not relent. We in Parliament will hold their feet to the fire and fight for the ordinary Ghanaian. Please join us 5 a.m. on Monday the 5th of May on this peaceful demonstration. Thank you very much. God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the minority leader, the Honorable MP for the good people of Efutu. He was ably supported by Nana Eje Bafewa, MP for the good people of Menchia South, and also Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaik, the MP for the good people of Weja Bawe. The message is clear, and I think that the media, you have a good opportunity here to advance this conversation. We are not quite done. Please, if you can maintain your positions, there is a final presentation and summary that is going to come. So please, media, if you just stay put, we'll be done in the next 15 minutes. Sorry? Yeah, no. Before we do the final summary and the tree rendition of the presentation so far, please, media, please, can you get back to your position? So, hello, I see channel 1. Please, can you get back to position so we can finish the press conference, please? Please. Thank you. We'll call on the chairman of this press engagement, the chairman of the New Patriotics Party's Legal and Constitutional Committee, to possibly summarize the matters that have been raised here, which, in my own view, goes to the heart of the NDC's agenda, President Mahama's agenda, to plot for a third term, and that should worry us. The chairman will give us a summary and a closing remark. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard Ahiagba